Have you ever felt like, with all of our amazing technology and instant access to everything, there's just something missing? Well, today we're going to dive into a really fascinating analysis that argues our modern world, for all its bytes and microchips, might be suffering from a serious lack of spirit.
All right, so to really get a handle on this, we're going to follow a story that unfolds in 5 key parts. We'll kick things off with the forgotten frailty, looking back at our raw, vulnerable past. Then we'll see how that led to the broken promise of progress. From there, we'll explore the rebellion of the 60s and its lasting echo. All of this sets the stage for the core idea: too many bytes, too little spirit. And finally, we'll look at where this has all left us, in a state the source calls the lukewarm nap.
So, to figure out where we are now, we've got to look back at where we came from. And for most of human history, let's be real, life was anything but comfortable. I mean, just try to picture it. Your entire life is a constant, grinding struggle. You're literally banging rocks together, hoping for a spark to stay warm. You eat meat only when a hunt actually works out. Your teeth are slowly, inevitably falling out. You're just another animal out there trying to make it, probably completely worn out by the time you're 30. That was the reality for so long.
This right here really says it all, doesn't it? Back then, a piece of pottery was a luxury. Today, it's a microchip. The core argument here is that we've become so dazzled by our technology that we've completely lost touch with that fundamental weakness, that frailty of our ancestors. We've basically become, as the source puts it, bipedal puppets, totally shielded from the raw, tough reality of existence.
And it's exactly that forgotten struggle that set the stage for what came next, this era of just absolute, unshakable faith in the future.
You know, these phrases probably sound familiar, right? Always forward, upward and onward. Everything works out in the end. They sound a little cheesy now, but they're not just empty sayings. According to this analysis, they're actually cultural leftovers from a time when modern technology was just bursting onto the scene, and people were totally convinced that science and reason were a one-way ticket to a perfect world.
But, well, that dream was shattered. This timeline really shows you the whole tragic story of that great disappointment. It started in the late 19th, early 20th century with this incredible optimism. But then, the brutal reality of the world wars and totalitarian regimes just crushed that faith. And by the late 20th century, the dream had completely soured. Technology, which was supposed to be our savior, was now being used as a tool for competition, devastation, and control. The promise was broken. So, in the aftermath of that broken promise, a whole new generation comes along during the Cold War, and they are determined to do things completely differently.
Their goal was simple: build a better world. But to them, that meant a total and complete rejection of their parents' generation. The break was absolute. You see it in the clothes, the hair, the language, everything. And this led to a pretty radical new idea: that being young in and of itself was a virtue. That it gave them a kind of moral authority to just remake the world from scratch.
But here's the incredible irony in all this. The source argues that this big, collective movement to change the world, well, it unintentionally ended up promoting the exact opposite, this intense focus on individualism and the need for instant gratification.
And that created a cultural echo that we're still living in today. You see, by celebrating the fleeting stage of youth over the stable wisdom that comes with maturity, it kind of paved the way for the world we have now. A world where, as the source points out, it feels like almost everyone is chasing this impossible ideal, trying to disguise their own age.
Okay, so this brings us right to the heart of the matter, to the central paradox of our digital age.
And this slide really gets to the core of it. I mean, think about the culture of the past. Even when it was rebellious or raw, it was just bursting with inspiration, with spirit. And today, the argument is that our culture has become fundamentally poor in spirit.
The idea isn't just that culture got worse, it's that it's been commodified. It has become this generic, almost soulless product that you could literally find on a supermarket shelf. You know, neatly packaged, looks good, but there's just no real depth, no spirit inside.
And here's that paradox in action. The tools to create things have never been cheaper or easier to get. Anyone can buy a great camera, record an album in their bedroom, get art supplies delivered to their door, but has this explosion of access led to some new golden age of culture? The source argues that, actually, the opposite has happened. The ease of creation has led to a flood of stuff, but it seems like very little genuine, curated taste is actually breaking through to the mainstream. So, where does all of this leave us? Well, this final section offers a really powerful metaphor for our collective state of being right now.
This quote just nails the feeling, doesn't it? A hangover from abundance. We're not in some huge, acute crisis. We're in the dull, throbbing aftermath of, well, overdoing it. We're feeling the effects of too much technology, too much information, too many passive options.
And this brings us to the final big idea, okoshilu morno, or the lukewarm nap. It's not a terrifying nightmare, but it's definitely not some amazing, vivid dream either. It's this state of passive, comfortable, pretty uninspired existence. It's like we're in a collective daze, where all the grand ambitions have just kind of faded away.
Think about this. Even our slogans of hope have been totally hollowed out. A phrase like, everything is possible, which was once this profound, deeply felt belief in the future, is now just a mechanical motto. It's just a string of words we repeat without any real conviction, like a machine.
And so, at the end of all this, we're left with a pretty critical question we have to ask ourselves. Are we just taking a nap, or have we actually forgotten how to dream?